minus for the car, Kris. All right.
Hello and welcome to round 8 of the Intercontinental Rally Challenge. It's island hopping for us. It continues. We're off to Madeira, the 51st rally here. It's got some history. It's asphalt, of course. Thursday night in Funchal. A 2.18 kilometre super special getting us underway. But day one made up of an epic 12 stages, 183 competitive kilometres in total. Very, very busy over the 2 loops. Day 2 made up of 8 special stages, totaling 115, just over that. So almost 300 competitive kilometres to be done on this mountainous island. Changeable weather expected. Long, long, fast corners with some twisty bits just to catch you out. This event also running the European and Portuguese Championships as well. 20th of February 2010, the Portuguese island of Madeira suffered floods and mudslides. Yes, extreme weather conditions to blame. It was a massive restructuring programme. Portuguese Prime Minister José Sócrates directed funds and a massive rebuilding programme, and it has paid off. Funchal looking as beautiful as ever, and the tourist industry remaining unaffected. Of course, one of the most beautiful coasts there is, so well worth a visit. A beautiful island then, a superb backdrop for us to meet our contenders. And what talent we've got, Luca Rossetti. It's season debut in the IRC for him. Tarmac specialist, of course, 4-time event winner in the IRC, currently leading the European Championship. First of all, he says, I like to do a fast rally, push a lot from the very start. It's going to be important to find a good feeling in the car very, very quickly, and I hope that it'll help me towards my European campaign as well. My goal is a podium. He's not hanging around then. Yeah, the man leading the IRC at the moment, Juho Hänninen, yes, has just come from the WRC in Finland, where he won the SWRC. Not known for his love of tarmac, but he's here and ready to battle.
It's very difficult, very difficult. I have to be quite realistic now with the results, what I can achieve over here. It's not going to be easy. Just should be enough patience, even it's sometimes maybe some guys will be quite much faster over here.
Chris Meeke bagged some important points in the Azores last month. They'll be looking to grab as many as possible right here. The Peugeot should perform well on asphalt, let's hope so.
Three of the guys that finished ahead of me last year aren't here this year, so maybe we have a little bit of a chance. But you know, when you come here for the first time, it's like last year, it was exceptionally difficult. But hopefully, we can put our knowledge and experiences from last year to good use.
Well, he was 5th last time, but he's got the likes of Fast Freddy to cope with. Freddy Loix is back, factory Skoda backing, of course. This time, well, will he be adding to his win at the Ypres Rally? He hopes so. Always dramatic, let's hear from him.
My target this year is to be quick, but try to be quick in every stage. And if I can be on the podium, I'm very happy.
The most consistent point scorer of the series so far is back in the Azores, and hoping, back from the Azores I should say, on the back of that win there, and hoping to do the same right here. Bruno Magalhães.
I knew the stages is many years, and I think I have chances here to fight for the victory. Of course it will be very, very difficult with the other guys. They, of course, for sure they will push a lot, but I'll try the same, and in the final we will see.
The other local here in Madeira is 22-year-old Bernardo Sousa. Yes, he was born on the island, moved away 10 years ago, and so he has a lot of local knowledge. More accustomed to gravel rallies, though, and he hasn't been on tarmac for the last 4 months. So he had to retire after the second stage last year and is hoping to go better this time by. Well, before we get into the action of the rally, let's take a look at the IRC standings as we go into Madeira. And here it is, Juho Hänninen is the man in the lead at the moment on 48 points. He is 9 clear of Jan Kopecký. Bruno Magalhães, the most consistent point scorer so far, is in 3rd place ahead of Guy Wilkes, who is injured but will be back for Zlin with his damaged vertebrae from the last outing. And Kris Meeke is just 2 points now behind Guy, so it's important. Well, particularly, one might say, for Peugeot to try and close that gap on Skoda, who lead the manufacturers on 104 points as opposed to Peugeot's 73 just now. Well, the rally got underway last night at Fulchard's seafront with the opening ceremony and the super special stage. Thousands of spectators lined the streets in the baking sunshine early on, watching Kris Meeke put in an impressive performance on the 2.18 kilometre super special stage. Yes, it was only a gap of 0.3 on Bruno Magalhães out there, but significantly Freddy Loix on this short course 2.5 seconds down, only 6th quickest. So it can have an impact. This often described as a bit of fluff, sometimes by some. Well, it could be that those gaps are carried importantly into the remainder of this rally. Magalhães came off, as we said, just 0.3 off Kris Meeke's time, also driving a Peugeot, so a good start for the rampant line. So what about day one proper? Made up of 12 special stages, day broken down into 2 loops. The morning stages starting at 08:30. An early start then, with a 15.99 steep climb up Canto Goffre. The afternoon moving into the first loop of the day. So, without further ado, let's catch up with the day's action.
So Freddy Loix returning for the first time since April, where of course he stunned everyone by rocking up for his first IRC event of 2010 and wiped the floor with everyone. He reported varying conditions, didn't seem to affect him though. He was fastest on the first stage of the day and he took the lead from overnight leader Meeke. Jan Kopecký had opted for medium tyres for the morning stages. He was going to take the first stage of the day fairly easy, didn't want to push too much and wanted to see how he went. He went very well indeed. He was 2nd in the stage, 2nd overall, and just behind fellow Skoda driver Loix.
Super smooth tones of Andrew Coley and the super smooth driving of Kris Meeke as well. Yes, it's kind of new to him really, easing off just a little bit to guarantee results. That's what it's all about. He needs plenty of them. Points being prizes by the end of the season. 3rd in the stage, dropping to 3rd overall, but hopefully those harder tyres will serve him well in the next stage, which came very, very quickly on here. As you can see, damp patches on the road and they can catch you out. It was catching some further down the order indeed.
Luca Rossetti in the Arbath S2000. First time we've seen one of these cars in a really competitive run. Rossetti, a tarmac expert, doing very well in the Italian and the European Rally Championships at the minute, and showing here that there are still legs in the Punto. A very good run, 4th on the stage, 4th overall. Not too far behind Loix and a good drive.
Yeah, plenty of Portuguese interest here. Bernardo Sousa, we mentioned him earlier, local driver in his M Sport Fiesta S2000, came in 5th on this stage. And remember that this is the stage he retired on last year, so we expected him to be a bit more tentative. As you can see from the onboard, it was anything but out there. He was going hell for leather.
Juho Hänninen, championship leader on his less preferred surface, of course, more of a gravel expert. Hänninen, he's got 3 tarmac rallies to put up with now: Madeira, Zlin and San Remo, and he'll be keen to wrap the championship up. It's not his favoured surface, and so he's taking it easy, trying to bed himself in. You can see here some of those very tricky damp patches under the trees.
If that was taking it easy, goodness knows what it's like when he's pushing full on. Magalhães certainly was, and ill fortune for him, got himself a puncture in the middle of the stage. He finished 22nd, having lost just over 2 minutes from Freddy Loix's time, who took the stage win. So he'll need to push hard in order to make up time later on, and that's exactly what you don't want to do.
It's a great shame for Magalhães after his stunning result in the Azores, which was thoroughly deserved. He was right on the pace and he would have been hoping, I think, for better luck on his home event, Carlton.
You know, Andrew, we're talking so much about his consistency. Is this going to bite him? We would see. Magalhães then on full chat after his issues. Just how much has he got left? Well, he was out there to prove plenty. Way, look at that. And unfortunately, that was the end of his rally. He is okay, incidentally. Disaster for the Portuguese. Yes, at Interios. Check this out. Live on Portuguese television at the same time, incidentally. He was really trying to make up time, Andrew, and it just bit him.
Absolutely massive shunt, Carlton. He was way too late on the brakes. You can hear that. It's a big impact for the crew.
Yes,
he tried desperately to pitch it in.
I was pushing a lot to recover some time because you had a puncture in the first stage. You were winning a lot of time to the other drivers. But in the final of the stage, after the jump, when I touched in the brakes, in the pedal, you had absolutely no brakes. Looks like the clutch. And nothing to do. I pushed the handbrake 15 meters behind the corner, and was nothing to do. It was a big crash. My last accident was 7 years ago, so it's not so bad if the next one will be in 7 years.
Well, if you're wondering why he's still smiling, it's because it's been confirmed that he will be racing in San Remo, which is great news.
Luca Rossetti very happy with the setup of the car for Special Stage 3. The harder compound tyres were working for him on this stage. He wins the stage and he takes the overall lead of the rally.
Happy boy. And in fact, he spared us a few words a little bit later on as well, just underlining that fact. The car looking extremely clean at the end of what had been a very busy day that had taken a huge toll on others. He says, yeah, I'm very happy with the car. I had a great feeling with the setup as well, and the tyres. And well, we're going to try and improve the situation, and we'll see if we can remain in the rally lead. Well, the man standing in his way, Freddy Loix.
So Loix is apparently nursing an injured left shoulder here in Madeira after a motorbike accident at home, but it doesn't appear to be affecting his performance too much. He lost a little bit of time to Rossetti in Terreiros 1, dropping him to second overall, just 1.8 seconds off Luca Rossetti.
Never long before Loix is back in winning ways, though, and he was straight on the push and picking up results as he went.
I'm very happy because the first proper stage I did the best time, so I was a little bit surprised because it was a difficult stage. Went into the second stage, my tire position was maybe a little bit too soft to do the two stages together, but it managed to keep a good speed without damaging my tires, and I was happy with my time on the finish.
Good boy. Brakes were the issue for Kris Meeke out there, though, particularly on Special Stage 3. It was starting to warm up just a little bit too much, and tyre choice was becoming essential.
Yeah, this event, Carlton, absolutely critical on the brakes. Very steep up and downhill. We saw what happened to Magalhães when he said he ran out of brakes. And you have to be very careful not to left foot brake too much on tarmac and to overheat the pads and suffer from a long pedal, which Meeke did at the end of this stage.
Yeah, in fact, he was sailing straight through the timekeepers on occasion.
Not so bad. We decided this morning to go on the harder tyre. We had some information that the first stage there was some humid patches. Actually, when we got to it, those sections, they were full wet, and with a harder tyre it was quite difficult, but okay, we managed to get through, and we wanted to capitalise on the longer stage where it was full dry and we could really use the harder tyre, but unfortunately I lost the brakes 7 kilometres from the finish, and you know, I had to pump the pedal every time to find something in the brakes to help stop the car. So for me, I lost quite a bit of time on the last section.
And what about our championship leader, Juho Hänninen? Known not to like tarmac, and it was being proven in his consistent results. Consistent about being further down the order, unfortunately for him. Just found it a bit slippery on medium tyres, and unfortunately for him, fourth, putting him at 5th overall, 4th on this particular stage, with a 16-second deficit. Not good.
Yeah, Hänninen definitely improving on tarmac, but with another couple of rounds on tar to come, he's going to have to make sure he can wrap that championship up. Miguel Nunes taking over as the local hope after the departure of Magalhães. He's 5th in this stage, 6th overall, and 25.9 seconds down on leader Rossetti. It
really was a flotilla of Portuguese, in fact, overall filling the spaces from 6th all the way down to 17th where Bruno was waiting in the Peugeot 207. Kopecký, well, Jan and the Skoda Fabia, another driver to suffer with his brakes. He lost all of his brakes towards the end of the stage. That can be a bit hairy, play on the nerves just a little bit. It dropped to 4th overall. 12.7 off Rossetti's time. He really was the pacemaker, Rossetti, up there.
Bernardo Souza also had brake issues, just reinforcing what we were saying about these tight corners. That's the point where Magalhães went off. You can see the black lines in the car off in the undergrowth. He said he nearly went off at one point, had to use the gearbox to slow the car down because the brakes were so worn. Also said he's concentrating on the Portuguese Championship, which he's currently leading, so unlikely to risk it all to try and take it to the IRC runners leaderboard.
Rossetti then on top, 1.8 seconds clear of Freddy Loix after 3 specials so far in this rally. Meeke staying well and truly in touch. In fact, there's only those 3 under 5 seconds. Everyone else, including Kopecký, 12.7 or worse. More in a moment. Welcome back. Doesn't that look beautiful? Yeah, it's the Vinho Madeira, the Rally Vinho Madeira, the Rally of the Madeira wine. Sweet it is. So is Freddy Loix when he's in this sort of mood. Absolutely superb. Lead overall on 4, fastest in the stage, and now with a 1.8 advantage over Rossetti. He was running so quick.
Jan Kopecký, another Skoda driver, going fantastically well. Of course, he is their tarmac expert. He's been doing some extra tarmac work in the Italian Rally Championship, and that's paid off here. A very tricky event to come to first time Madeira with such long corners and be competitive. He was only a 10th off Freddy Loix in the second run of Campo de Golf, and obviously has a good setup on the harder tyres.
Meeke said everything beautiful out there. I don't think he was referring to the flowers. The car, obviously, just absolutely coming to him. But brakes remained the issue out there. And he wasn't pushing it absolutely to 100% because he is playing a percentage game here and playing it well.
They had a big test, Peugeot, with Meeke to try and overcome the problem where they broke a rim in the Canaries, Carlton, after a bolt broke the rim. Rossetti still leading but not happy, sorry, still in second but not happy with the setup of the car on this stage. This is where he loses the lead overall, so just not feeling quite as good as he was on the morning stages.
Andrew, the onboard there, you could quite clearly see it. He was hexagoning through the curves here, just not happy at all. And as a result, slipping down. Loix taking over the lead and looking very, very dangerous here. So on to special stage 5, double looping today. Terios, and a bit of a long one, 21.77 kilometres in total. Luca Rossetti much happier on this stage. Said the car was sliding a lot, but it was okay. He kind of liked it with that loose feeling, taking back the overall lead. A real toe-to-toe battle developing between himself and Loix here. Just what this rallying is all about.
Absolutely fantastic to see the Punto S2000 still competitive, Carlton. Of course, nobody's really used it this year. The works team hasn't been present. There have been some budget issues. And for Rossetti to come along like this and come straight to the fore just proves that car strength on tarmac is still there.
Apart from anything else, it's just nice to see another profile machine out there that you can just enjoy the look of. And I very much like that Abarth S2000, I've got to say. Freddy Loix there, 4th in on 5. Lost the overall lead, but still very close to the number 1. There's only 4.3 seconds separating them. As for Meeke, well, he was starting to maybe think just over his shoulder. Loix, anything but. He was looking for the horizon and eating it up out there. Surely it wouldn't be long before another stage victory came his way. He and the Skoda seem to have absolutely gelled perfectly, don't they?
They have indeed. He's got the facelift, Fabio, the very latest version of the car. He was with the works team when he was in Ypres. In fact, this one's being run by René Georges Rally Sport, but the Skoda, I have to say, is looking like the strongest car at the minute. The 207 after this recent test, maybe they can get back on the pace with Meeke and some of the other Peugeots. Magalhães, of course, we've seen been competitive as well, so it's not over yet, the championship.
Not the same budget with Peugeot. Some issues starting to rumble because of that, because Skoda are putting so much money into this IRC discipline. And, well, we just hope that Skoda and Peugeot can sort out their differences. Souza, disappointment for the Portuguese drivers, stopped with an engine fire in the engine bay. The Ford Fiesta S2000 not having the most luck at the moment.
No, certainly after its victory in Monte Carlo. We've seen some strong results from Mikkelsen on the other round, but it's nice to see the Fiesta back out there again. So Kopecký had a very near miss in special stage 5, had a huge moment in 6th gear, only 1.5 kilometres into the stage, approaching a long left corner a little bit too fast. He didn't want to use left foot braking after overheating the brakes on the first run, lost the rear, hit a bank and has about 50 metres of sliding.
It really is a balancing game, isn't it? You've got to play. Do you want brakes at the end of this stage, or well, he had plenty of greenery by the end. That was very, very lucky that he avoided anything worse.
That was a big save. A big save.
Shrubs, yeah, it was. Rossetti then going back into the lead. Loix 4.3 down after 5. Toe-to-toe stuff, but with Meeke waiting to strike, there'll be more action. next from Madeira. Stay with us. Welcome back to the 8th round of this year's IRC. We're in Madeira. You join us for special stage 6, the first run through Serra d'Água. It's the sun and the water. Well, it was all shining on Freddy Loix at the moment, fastest in the stage. Not quite enough to retake the overall lead, but Loix was closing that gap, just 1.8 again, with Luca Rossetti, and pushing harder and harder to try and catch that Italian. It's what he does best.
Just 0.9 of a second off Loix was Kris Meeke. Said he liked this stage very much, even though he had a small off here last year. If you're a regular viewer, you remember he slid wide and smashed his window on a telegraph pole, just held onto the car. No mistakes this year. They make a lot of changes to their pace notes and weren't quite in full attack on this first run through.
Yeah, those pace notes well and truly changed. This last time by, would it be better for Meeke this time? He's certainly looking that way. Kopecký, though, was closing him down and keeping him very, very honest. These two were getting closer and closer to each other in the overall. How much longer did it stay like that? Look how close they were. 3rd and 4th, these two.
I'm quite surprised at Kopecky's pace here. I mean, when I spoke to Meeke earlier on this year, he said how hard it is to come to Madeira with these long corners and to know you have to commit to the throttle. That's why the locals are so good. Kopecky's coming, he's on the pace straight away, Colton. He is a tarmac specialist, but so is Meeke, and it's a good run from him. Yeah, very much so.
Freddy Loix was also absolutely on fire here. Ever since being chosen, had the sword touched on his shoulders by Skoda. Yeah, Freddy Loix has been unbelievable. On the pace, happy to be here, and it shows in his driving. Look at him go.
So just 2.5 off Loix in the overall lead is Luca Rossetti. Showed some slowing times in this stage, only finished 5th. But said he's going to come back fighting for the next stage.
Yeah, so he had some grip issues in this one. Generally, it seems that the hard compounds are being chosen and running well today. The tarmac getting nice and warm out there. Nobody seemed to have too many grip issues until the end of the second run-throughs here.
Hänninen's times were actually picking up in the afternoon stages. His confidence in the Madeira roads was growing, and also, of course, his confidence on the tarmac surface, not his preferred surface, but he needs to find it because the next 2 events are on tarmac as well, and he'd be keen not to go all the way to the end of the championship having a fight.
Fellow Skoda driving Jan Kopecký also picking up the pace, 3rd in the stage, maintaining 4th overall. Closing the gap, though, on Kris Meeke. Now, this was getting a little bit hairy for Meeke. Would he start looking over his shoulder? Would he start pushing just that little bit harder? Big questions. Only Kris had the answer for us.
And would Kopecký make a mistake 3 kilometres from the end like he did in the Azores? Very embarrassing for him. He'll be keen to make up for that by catching up with Meeke. Only managed 4th on this run. Kris maintains 3rd position, but he's going to have to push harder if he wants to try and catch the 2 ahead of him, Rossetti and Loix. He's only 6 seconds behind Rossetti at this point. Late and brave. That's a hell of a pace note.
Yeah, late and brave. What a call it was. And he was both absolutely on their notes. So is Miguel Nunes, currently 2nd in the Madeira Championship. Miguel Nunes having a great rally so far. Been competing here since 2006, only his 2nd year with the car, being a local team. Yeah, great knowledge pays dividends, it seems, for him. So Loix then back to the top. Meeke in 3rd place, 6.1 down. Kopecký 15.5 off the pace. Well, it looks like we've got 3 contenders now, but never, ever, ever count anybody out of this. Cidade de Santana up next.
So Freddy Loix, another fastest time in special stage 8. He extends his lead to 7.6 seconds, and he's looking like he's on absolutely fantastic form, despite, of course, not having anywhere near as much practice as some of these other drivers. Had typical Madeiran territory here, look.
Absolutely beautiful. Looks like it could be in the Bahamas. Absolutely stunning part of the world, and some stunning drivers and great entertainment here. Jan Kopecký making it 2nd in this stage, stage 8. Further closing down the gap on Kris Meeke. Yeah, the pair separated just by 4.1 seconds by the time he'd done his job here.
Luca Rossetti hasn't really found his pace this afternoon. He's 3rd again on this stage. Just as a point of interest, running order doesn't really make much of a difference on Madeira. On some of the other tarmac events where early drivers cut and drag dirt out into the road. You can see from a lot of the territory here that you've got walls or rock faces on either side that drivers can't cut. So it's conditions are the same, first and second run, road order not making too much of a difference.
Nunes once again just keeping up the N4, the Portuguese, 5th on this stage and just consistently in the frame here, although overall over a minute down. Certainly entertaining the crowds here, keeping them happy at least.
Kris Meeke starting to lose time, only managing 6th fastest on this stage, maintains 3rd position, but unfortunately the gap is now 17.5 seconds to the leader, and Kopecký is closing him down big time.
Let's get on board and have a listen, shall we?
Don't cut, and early trade minus keep in, open double crash, don't cut, 32 right.
Great stuff from Nagel there. Loix on top. Meeke 13.4 down. Rossetti still very much the man here. 7.6 off Loix, and with all that verve still to come, plenty to come. There was stage 9. Freddy Loix was straight out of the box again, running 8th on the road in the absence of Magalhães. And as you can see, pushing hard all the way, as ever. Does he ever do anything else, Freddy Loix?
Super late on the brakes there, Carlton, down into that hairpin. He had the car unbalanced on the brakes before he even used the handbrake. Yes, it's an absolutely stunning performance by Loix, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it is. He's happy with his performance, happy with his life at the moment.
I'm feeling well, but I know it's not over yet because, Luca is pushing hard, but also Kris and Jan Kopecký are going very quick, so I'm making a difference, but always a very small difference. 1, 2, 3 seconds, but okay, we will see now the second run through the stages. I'm feeling well, the car is going well, so now the rest is up to me.
Well, Luca Rossetti managed to claw back some time, getting the scratch in special stage 9. In fact, the Rossetti was running so well. In fact, he took special stage 11 as well, let me tell you. But it all came unstuck for him on 12. We'll see results from 9 in just a moment. But late on, Rossetti has been taken to hospital, I'm afraid to tell you. His rally is in fact over. Real shame. This was him a little bit earlier in the day, however. Says we're going to try and change some things into the next loop, the differential. Little changes because our speed is not good. A little extra percentage to go faster to have a chance to win. Unfortunately, that chance has eluded him. And I'm sorry to say that the rally over for Luca Rossetti. We believe he is okay, but he has been taken to hospital for checkups. But it was a big one. We'll have action from that for you tomorrow.
Kris Meeke headed back to service, slightly confused and at a bit of a loss as to the answer as to why he was losing time on the stages. Still 3rd, but Jan Kopecký is only 1.8 seconds behind him.
Yeah, okay, I'm confident in the notes now and everything, but you know, we can't forget that Kopecký and Hänninen is their first time here, and their times are simply incredible for their first time here. So, okay, we just have to raise our game, but you know, I don't want to raise it to where we lose everything. So we just have to keep it on the road and keep trying. But as I said, I have no answer for the moment.
And to keep your sandwich down as well. Juho Hänninen has been picking up the pace all afternoon. Nunes also running very well. Don't forget, he's up against the big boys here. It's a small team. And, well, that was a real squeaky moment for them. Yes, that could be expensive for a small team and essentially just end your season, not just your rally out there. Yeah, did well.
Interestingly mentioning that, Carlton, I know that Magalhães was worried that this might be the last event of his season for Peugeot Portugal because of his lack of budget, and unfortunately, of course, with the massive shunt he's had, it would be interesting to see whether or not Magalhães makes it back out. I do hope we do see him because his pace has just suddenly come on so well, like so many of these Portuguese drivers.
Yeah, shame about Rossetti though. Here is Pinto, one of those. Yeah, it's first time we've seen anything of Rui Pinto. Portuguese driver makes it into the top 8, don't forget, in special stage 9. That put him 8th overall. Absolutely superb performance.
Real local specialist as well, Carlton. This is his 8th participation here in Madeira, so a great drive from him. First of the rally out cars to come back.
Yeah, such a ubiquitous part of rallying for such a long time. Well, what a day we've had. The opener here proper after the super special yesterday. Clouds aplenty, and some of them hanging over Luca Rossetti's performance, unfortunately for him. So, Freddy Loix is our leader. Kris Meeke, because of the absence of Rossetti after his big crash, is now 2nd in this rally. But look how close it is between himself and Kopecký. There is a whole flotilla of Skodas trying to sink the Peugeot just for now. If you can just keep sailing and keep picking up those points, keep it regular, you never know. Might have some happy news for you tomorrow evening. Let's hope so. That's our overall classification just for now. It's been busy. Now before we go, let's check out the two-wheel drive class. Portuguese driver Luis Serrado leads the group. The end of day one, the Madeira Rally in his Peugeot 206. The time of broadcasting, yes, 1.47 down over Portuguese driver Duarte Ramos.
It was a 206 that won the two-wheel drive category in Azores, Carlton, although that was only a little 206 Cup car. This is a full-on Super 1600 car, and this will be very good news for Peugeot in the two-wheel drive manufacturer standings, which I think they were leading after Azores, if my memory serves me correctly.
Well, a bit of a spat going on at the moment. Peugeot just asking questions about funding levels and things like that for next year. Let's hope they're there. Here, day two. Don't forget, Saturday, that's tomorrow, of course. Hope to have your company for that. It's going to be superb. If day one was anything to go by, it'll be frightening, but it'll also be entertaining. For me, Carlton Kirby and Andrew Coley. See you then.